welcome to another art session. Hope you doing some work on these personifications of winter tonight. I think hopefully I can get some to at least to a pose that I like by the end. So we'll see. Of course. There we go, that's better. Okay. Alright. Everyone's. This is okay, but I'm gonna make a better one. It's like destroying the wrong character. Second. That's kind of cool. I have an idea. Hello, thanks for dropping in. Gonna be working on some of these superhero designs. Hope you had a good day. Yeah, that got it. Nah, she doesn't need that. Oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I kind of had to take a short rest before this on my side as well. Kind of just was. I didn't sleep well last night, so I kind of just needed to take some time to just relax for a second before I started this. Too tired. no. That was me last. Was, yeah, that was last week still. Yeah, right. The one day where my alarm didn't go off right. But I'm never late for work, so it didn't count. It wasn't the problem. But still, I don't like that happening. Okay, she just need both hands. Oh, geez, that's so good. Yeah, Mike, that's gonna be rough. 'Cause in my case, it was I just didn't set the second one, and I should. Now I'm back to doing that again, so that doesn't happen in the future. But yeah, I guess if you are, there always is the chance where if you're too tired, it doesn't affect. That could definitely be the case. That's why with like some of these projects I'm doing now, I'm gonna just take it easy and slow because earlier this year with certain projects, I kind of went overboard and didn't sleep much some nights, like 4 hours of sleep some nights. So I'm not gonna do that to myself this time around. Oh, let's see it. Just get some water. False alarm! I thought I was gonna sneeze right into the microphone there. So I'm gonna get some water and step away. And if I sneeze over here, no problem. Jeez, 5. Wow. Sorry. Wrong bite. I'm okay. Maybe just maybe tried. Have you tried different things other than just because like certain sometimes if you do like certain different frequencies or something that can or like specific noises that you know will wake you up. Because I've done pretty much everything. Like, I mean, I'm kind of back to just doing regular just my phone alarm, but I've done like unpleasant alarms, like those old ones that where they just clang, and then I did other ones where that it was like just like my I would start my day off with my favorite like my favorite music. Then that kind of got me revved up sometimes. Yeah. Figure for her costume it'd be kind of fun to give her like a ballerina, like a ice princess kind of ballerina costume, kind of. And since like threads are a big part of her thing, I thought it'd be fun to kind of make it look like her costumes waves around too to kind of distract along with, so it's hard to track where the her magic threads are. Yeah. But yeah, it sounds like maybe that'd be a good idea. for me this week just feels like it's getting long. Like every day just feels longer than the one before it. I don't know if everyone else is tired too, and we're all just trying to be positive in a stressful week. But it just feels like everyone's like, certain people are just doing that like case of the Mondays thing, and I'm just trying to keep it cool. I'm just like, please, please go away. Like, surely you have work to do. Please leave me alone. Yeah, it's just like, and then they wait for their like applause, and I'm just in there like, no, I'm not rewarding you for this behavior. It's like, you don't get to come up to me and just poke and prod at me and then see me clap. It's like it's like, be gone. So I just kind of stared back blankly, and I think that was the best response. It's like, so you're gonna go take care of that thing over there? Like, in those kind of cases, people just want a response. I'm like, nah. I kind of want to just do my work. That could be it too. I think everyone's tired. Maybe it's not just me. And that's why I didn't want to hold it. I didn't want to like scold them or something, because maybe they're tired too. Maybe like bad humor is their way of being. Because then like the person who was working with me started talking. I'm like, no, stop. Silence is good. Just let me listen to my podcast, and you just sit there quiet. This works better this way. Oh, I did watch more of that anime Dan Da Dan. And that next episode is pretty sad. Like, it kind of just hits you like a bus at the very end. And it's like, oh, good, my heart. Mm. It's like, I had a weird feeling about it from the beginning, though I won't spoil the reveal. But they point something out, and it's like, oh yeah, that's probably what is really going on here. Yeah, I mean, the end. Also, I've been like today. I watched a little bit of the more of the new season of Beastars, and I really like these new characters. The horse guy is awesome. Like, wow, I can see why he's the Beastar. He's so cool. The black mare. Such a cool guy. And I like that there's reptiles in the show now. I don't think there were any in the first season. Or maybe there were, and I'm just thinking of, yeah, no, there were. There probably were. I'm just thinking of, how I thought that I wanted them in, I think I saw them in this and I thought, like, maybe in one of the sequels for Zootopia, they'll do that too. Because, like, it feels like that could be another, like, issue to bring up is the different, once you've gotten to talk about carnivores and herbivores, although, I mean, technically most of those things in that movie were kind of, like, opportunistic carnivores sometimes, so, I don't know. They weren't always strictly like what they said they were, so it's like it's not really fair to judge them all the same. There's like certain smaller things that don't always, and certain bears are omnivores, and yeah, bears are on the, with the exception of polar bears, which is what I think the one they showed. So because they have so little, they kind of have to just take whatever. But even like Beastar, I mean, what was it called? BNA, the Studio Trigger one brought up other issues like and even Beastars is talking about also like sea creatures and like how like, I mean, they kind of don't have a choice. They don't have the option of being picky because it's like the entire environment kind of forces you into this kind of like food chain. That's what the next episode, I think they're gonna kind of cover more in this season, is just like how other like cultures in their world, like the marine life doesn't have the luxury of like vilifying carnivores or pretending that herbivores are victims. It's like, well, not really. They're all together and they're all surviving, and they survive off of each other. So, yeah, I like this snow leopard character that they introduced. He's really fun. I've been giving away a bunch, so I won't spoil everything. But there's a lot of other things. It's funny seeing Legoshi in a situation. I will say this, that it's funny seeing Legoshi in a situation where he's around adults and it's just a kid. Like, usually he's in a high school setting where he can, I mean, there are adults around in the background, but like it's kind of kids talking to kids. Or kids talking to like really scary gangsters in the second season. But in the third season, it's kind of like there's literally like one of his neighbors is one of the first people he meets. She overestimates him when she first meets him, and then she finally realizes this guy's just a child. It's like, yes, of course he is. He's a baby. He left high school. He wasn't even in college yet. So, and she gets annoyed because she's like an herbivore that's just getting bullied, and meanwhile he's just this kid who just left, who doesn't even have a full education and can walk into a room and everyone will give him respect. because he's a wolf. I do also wonder what if it's based on the fact that like a lot of people might know the news about him, where like what happened last season, where he got into the fight with the bear and everything, and maybe people don't want to mess with that. Because a lot of people have figured out on all sides who he is and are trying to give him space, but it's not working great so far. I'm liking this way better than the other design. I mean, I kind of like... That coat looks okay, but I could probably put it on someone else. I know someone else that it would look better on anyway, so... And I'm just excited that so many anime I watch are coming back in January. Like, I think Solo Leveling's coming back, and I'm... I gotta watch some of those animation beats in the, from the last season again, because, like, that fight between him and that Red Knight, oh, that is such cool animation. I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it yet, but it's really good. And Live Another Life in Another World has been pretty cool this season too. That's I think maybe they'll have more coming. I think that one, since they already had a bunch of that, I think it's gonna probably be more like maybe spring. I'm not sure. I don't think that's gonna be as soon, because that happened during that went through I think November. Yeah, so. Like the end of the last chapter had such a cool way of going out. Man, they made this villain so unlikable. I love it. He is the most misogynist piece of garbage ever. I can't wait to see him get mopped. Like they have this new... He's teaming up with this other strong guy, and it's like... Because he's been smart in the last few arcs, and doesn't go in alone anymore, which... good idea. I mean, I know you can restart... you have save points, but... You should always stick with the knight class character, the fighter. Especially because this is a holy knight, so it's basically, yeah, it's like Knight cleric. It's like, yeah, fighter cleric kind of character. And I wonder when Freerun starts up again. Just speaking of all that, I think that starts up sometime in the near future too. So that'll be cool. Is there anything that you're looking forward to this coming season, like the winter animes or and just shows in general that are coming in the winter? Let me try it. Well, you know what? I'm gonna put this on its own layer because I don't want to mess it up. I guess I'll just do this. Probably didn't need to. I'm just curious to see where, like, I think either Ragatha or Jax are gonna might have their episode next. I'm not sure which one they're gonna do first. I was watching some people's reaction to the last episode, and I was just like, everyone's just like saying, "Take that, Jax, good riddance," and I'm like, guys, chill. It's like they act like these are real, and I'm like, guys, it's just a show. None of them are inherently bad. He's flawed. Because there's so many people who are like, they liked him in the first episode, and then suddenly they're like, oh, he's awful. And I'm like, no, he was bad. He was the same in the first episode. I think you guys just thought he was a quirky Looney Tunes character in the first episode, but he was still the same guy he was in the second episode or the third. You know what? I'm going to change. I don't like this, actually. I'm glad I put it on its own layer. Let's make it, maybe? It might look better once I get some more things that are blue. Trying to think what else is coming out, but there's a couple of anime that I've watched in the past that are. I still need to finish this current season of Laid Back Camp because I don't think. Yeah, I have a few more episodes of that to watch before the. I mean, I think that's been over with for a while, but I've just been. It's kind of just been my like reserve anime kind of. Because it's just so chill. It's like one of the. I mean, the name gives it away, but it's really just a nice, quiet anime to watch sometimes. Where I can just put it on and just be like, oh yeah, camping supplies. Neat. And One Piece is on a break, so I have to hold my breath now while I wait for that crazy arc to start up again. It's like, I'm just so curious to see how Luffy reacts to everything that just happened. Like, well, I kind of even wonder how Blackbeard's gonna react too, because like he's gonna be. Actually, you know, he probably doesn't care. He the funny thing about him is he doesn't really understand the weight of what he's doing. It feels like he's using his like narcissistic personality to just kind of like think that he deserves all these things, just because he's ambitious. He feels that it's okay. I think the only thing that's changed about him is how far he'll go has changed a little. But other than that, he's pretty much the same person that Luffy met on that dock. So. It is amazing, though, that even as bad as he is, he's still not as bad as the Celestial Dragons. It's like, I'm pretty sure he'd have to do something truly horrible to get close to their level of awful. Or the, what are those guys called? The Celestial Knights. Like, they're the worst. They're like Orochimaru level awful. it's like, whoa, guys, jeez. Okay, you know, you live on this planet too, right? Trying to destroy it? Kind of like her being only a few simple tones. Kind of, yeah, it looks kind of nice. I still need to. I kind of glazed over it, but there's that fan video. I mean, the fan letter episode, and maybe I'll give that a shot over the break, watching that one too, because I saw a little bit of it, and it's obviously great animation. So. Yeah, I can't remember if I talked about this in this stream, but I talked about it with someone at work, and they brought up like how it's like Looney Tunes animation, and I'm like, I know what you're trying to say, but you are so, but calling it that is disingenuous. Like it's cartoony, and that's what they were trying to say. And I've said that like Luffy has like Looney Tunes energy. But I think that they're just being too like broad with saying that the whole thing is, and I'm like, yeah, they didn't have that kind of money back then. Could you imagine like Taz going Joy Boy Taz, or Joy Boy Roger, or Joy Boy Daffy Duck. Where he's just like hoo 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 hoo, bouncing around and dodging attacks while just like. And then there's things like the next season of Jujutsu Kaisen, which, oh boy, things are about to get crazy there. They just lost their great white shark. I won't give away who that is, but because even that's kind of a spoiler. But oh boy, things are about to get very complicated. And one thing kind of happened so fast that I wonder if they're going to have time to address it next season. I definitely won't spoil that, but like a lot of the like final things that happened in the season haven't had repercussions yet, because everyone had to like spread out and leave really quick. What do you think? Do you think I should use I'm going to try it. I'm going to try giving her blonde hair, but I'm not sure if I'm going to keep... I kind of like this very limited palette, so I might add it in just as something different. But it'll still be that like dark, that maybe will transition into like a very light on the tips kind of thing. I don't like that. That's too light, or too bright, I should say. I want it to be more on the dull side of... Wish I could... Oops, nope, not that. I wish I had more texture brushes for this kind of stuff, like snow. That's not what I want. Kinda? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna add in a little bit of gold into her design. Oops, I'm on the wrong layer. Oops. I like this design a lot. She's coming along great. Came out way better than I thought with this design. Cool. Save. Oh right, but I gotta do the. I still got one more thing to do. Thing to add in is the. How do I do this? The threads. Maybe it's like a. I'm thinking she can entangle you with these like psychic threads she has. Or and she flies too because she's on this board. Oh gosh, I already forgot what it's called. I'll find it later. She's flying on a board. That's all I remember. She has this kind of like, you know how like witches have brooms. She has this like thing that is used for sewing. What was it? It was like some flax. Yeah, it's for It was something they used for like making flax into something that they could use easier for like sewing and whatnot. I'm trying to play with these so that they look. Because like the first time I went through some of these, they just looked like the legend itself, but in my art style. And now I want to take some time right now to just turn these more into superheroes in my art style that are based around this. So some of them might be more modern looking than other. I mean, I think Santa I should make look a little more modern than the drawings I've made of him so far. So I feel like I'm trying to make him look more like a tough guy than he's supposed to be. One of the more like universal and like kind of characters. So he probably would definitely have like a design that's more modern. Trying to turn these hexagons into snowflakes on both sides of the. This won't go down the whole board because I'll go crazy if I draw every single one of these. I'm gonna make it a little smaller too because she doesn't need it to be big. It just has to be. Maybe it can change size as well based on how she moves it. It can become like a shield for her if she wants. I'm just really happy with how her feet came out. Actually, like the line work came out really good, and I didn't. My reference is nothing like this. Really, the reference was just for the energy of the pose, and it's of I won't do that. It takes too long. It's just someone posing in armor with like this dress that's like very frayed, and that's what gave me the idea for the for her dress being like this kind of. But this is more like a Thank you. Yeah, this is more like something that, like I said, a ballerina would wear, whereas the thing that in the pose is more like just more just a regular dress. That looks cool too, but oh yeah, and My Hero is going to end pretty soon, so that'll be interesting. Seeing how I already know bits and pieces of how that's going to end, though, so it's not that's not as big of a surprise. I had bits of it spoiled, but that's okay. I had a feeling the way it was spoiled to me wasn't a big deal. It was kind of like things that I saw coming in to a degree myself. Just the trajectory of certain characters was like oh gosh, I keep getting her name wrong. I've been calling her Ochaka, but I think it's something else. I think that's her last name. But yeah, her trajectory was drastically altered at the end of last season. So, and you just have to look to find out what I mean. The one thing I really like about My Hero is that it just takes that question of like, why don't more superheroes talk to villains? Like, why does everything have to come down to punching? Or even if it does, why is that the end of it, and why does it just reset itself? Like, how come there's no like moment to reconcile and just talk afterwards? Because especially when they're caught, it's like, did you guys really just think that like putting them in a dark place was going to make them healthy again? It's like that's a terrible way to heal some of them who have like no real reason to be like treated so horribly. Like the Joker, sure, be awful to him, he's awful, but there's other ones that are like, well, I love how even in Justice League Unlimited they pointed out that like most of Flash's villains became pretty like nothing characters later on, like compared to the things he had to deal with the Justice League. So he kind of treated them like just they were mentally ill. And I'm like, Batman, pay attention to him. There's so many of your guys who aren't Joker level that could just like use some medicine and they probably would be fine. I think there were actual stories in there where that happened too. Like I think Two-Face was rehabilitated for a short while before they wrote another story arc where he wasn't. Like, guys, come on, why do you have to backpedal? And there was, I think, one for a few other characters. I think Riddler also got cured. I forget. Yeah, there's a couple of them that, because he's just really narcissistic and really smart, so all you had to do was just find something to distract him. Harley as well. You're right. Yeah, Harley was the one that was like, oh, that one kind of like the end of that one almost makes me a little sad because like he really did look out for her. That was one where Batman actually really looked out for Harley in that one episode. Like she was just having a bad day and he was in the background just being like, not even like mean to her, just kind of like a guardian angel, kind of like making sure that nothing pushed her back the wrong way. Because he knew who turned her down the wrong path to begin with, so he knew how dangerous it was for her to like, how easy it could have been for her to bounce back. And in the comics, actually, she does stay a superhero for a while. I'm not sure if she is still, but she was for a while, and I think she even. Yeah, I think she is, because Poison Ivy became a hero. I mean, not a hero, but she's like a guardian element now. She's one of the Swamp Thing brigade. I forgot what the green. Which I'm so glad they finally did that with her, because I always was wondering like, what? Like Ivy, you can talk to plants, and there's other people that can do that too. Go join them. There's an entire like network of talking plants that you could go hang out with. Why are you in a city full of Looney Tunes when you can go be there and be safe? and make a much bigger difference on the world scale. So yeah, I like where her story went. But Harley's was one where I was more happy because they did some really bad things to her before they made her good, and I was just like, guys, come on. It's like, I know it's got to be a hard uphill battle, but you don't have to like put her through all these terrifying like scenarios before she becomes good. She kind of had to actually. It is a shame, and I think it's that so many of the heroines of DC kind of got like these weird moments where certain editors are like, "What if we do this on the cover to make it more controversial?" And I'm like, just let them be heroes, guys. Like, please, can we just have fun? Not everything has to be the Dark Knight Rises. You can have a story that's like whimsical and crazy. I think that's what they finally realized with Harley, because like she became almost like Deadpool for DC. It's like, oh wait, we can just make her like the character that somehow, despite her not being the most powerful, is still like nigh unbeatable, just because she's been around all these other villains and knows how they work. So she's able to like just bypass a lot of their most dangerous traits with a baseball bat, apparently. But whatever. Although in the comics she got super strength as well, so I wish they put that into the show, because that made it make much more sense when she's like taking on Wonder Woman, and you're like, wait a minute, like this fight would be over so fast. She's a civilian compared to Wonder Woman, and without her insanity and like deadly weapons, which she doesn't use later on, she wouldn't be anything to her. So this is coming along really good though. I'm only gonna make the back have the snowflakes. The front's just gonna be just tiles, because they have like these things have these really crazy ornate patterns on them. So this isn't too far off from what they actually look like. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. It's a nice, very simple color tone, and might clean it up a little bit more, but otherwise, like, for now, this is really good. And so let's move on to the next person. Santa, Santa, Santa. I started working on him too. I was like, yesterday I had a little bit of time where I was just like, I'm just gonna like rough out these guys and try and like think of some new poses, but this one kind of want to do something different for him. It looks cool, but I want to give him more a better pose, because he kind of looks like he could be more epic. Well, it's funny on Critical Role lately. It's been crazy watching them trying to. In the last few episodes, they've bounced between all three of their campaigns with with some of the characters that were have appeared in this campaign, and it was just like, I gotta hand it to them. That must be so hard remembering the rules of each character in each campaign, because they're different classes. So it's like you have to like reset your brain and be like, wait, nope, I'm a monk in this campaign. Whoop, nope, I'm this in this campaign. I love that Ashley Johnson just refuses to get rid of her dice, even though it betrays her so many times. Because it's like awkward. So sometimes it gives her really good rolls, but other times it's so bad. It's just like, really? You sure you want to keep that? Sorry, I'm trying to find some good reference. Let's be 1 second. Ooh, that's going into my webcomic folder. And that. It seems like Pinterest has grown since like earlier this year, because like now there's much more like variety in the body types, which is great for me. Like much more ripped characters of both men and women, so you get to like make cool superheroes or like awesome knights, or people or like for my comic, people with backgrounds in like being like just like, yeah, like powerful casters or powerful like monks or whatnot. You know, you want. Sometimes it's good to have them be skinny, but other times it's cool to have them be just like totally like a wall of muscle. Like, well, I mean, Richard Steelsong is, but although he's closer to being like slightly over, like he's kind of more like, I'd say he's pretty beefy. He's like Batman body. Although today it seems like I've been doing so much ref for the ladies in my comic that I don't have any guys here. Ah! It's all these great poses, but none of them are of men. Let's Let's see, sorry. I'm going to look at body type drawings because that might help. Because that drawing, this guy like was definitely inspired by the one from the Guardians. It's weird how this mix goes from like that like hip hop, or not hip hop, but like R&B kind of beats in 1 minute, and then like now we're into like this so this mix is just all over the place. I like it. It's just kind of funny that like one's just, I started with a very different theme than I'm at right now. Trying to think of how he should be. Maybe she's floating, so maybe him standing might be okay. I kind of want to make him more spread out a little bit more though. So like his knee, this knee is going to be over here, and this one, this leg will be like this. So like he's got this wide stance where he's do 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 do. I mean, if I wanted to push him even further, I could give him like that Kingpin body from the first Spider-Verse movie, but I'm not going to make him that big. I already have another character that's a giant that I have to draw, so making him like this, more like this, makes more sense. That's another movie I need to rewatch. I love that first Spider-Verse movie. I mean, they're both great. But like... let's draw over him. I'm going to clean up some of this anyway. Yeah, those are so much fun. Like Miles Morales, like it's amazing what how much they fixed him. From, I mean, it wasn't like it was he wasn't the worst. I don't want to make it sound like he was a really like a terrible character the way he was written, but he kind of felt like an afterthought. Like they were like, here's the Prowler, and here's how Miles Morales fits in with the Prowler, and it was like instead of it being, here's Miles Morales and here's his family and it's complicated and here's some things that happen, which was a much better way to write him. Plus I just loved his family, especially like how they got to do even more with him in the second one. And he's got a good, like, his dad's is like just a great character and a sympathetic character. Like, you can really tell he's trying. I still remember the end of the first one where he's just like, gives him a hug and he's just like, okay. He didn't know that was his son. He's just like, that was weird. He's like, yeah, I guess it was. You know what? I think. Yeah, no, I'll do this anyway, because otherwise I'm just copying the Guardians. I'm just so tempted to give him swords, but I'm like, if I give him swords, he's just that version of Santa Claus. And it's like, no. I was gonna make Jack Frost. I will probably make Jack Frost one of these characters too. So I'll give him. I'll probably give him the scimitars. He'll be like the, or like he'll get like short swords or something like that, or I don't know. I keep thinking of these guys as D&D characters. I gotta stop doing that. Maybe these last two are actually more like those kind of. No, I'll make them separate. I was gonna make them kind of like only 3 fingers, like the last two are together, but meh. It looks, considering he needs to have versatility, he needs. fun drawing all this fluff. All these characters with they're all going to be wearing like just very fluffy, woolly clothing. But yeah, it's exciting seeing them being almost done with the third campaign of Critical Role. Like, I'm very excited to. They're already talking about their next campaign. Which I know, and they still have to do Christmas, so that's going to be really fun. Maybe during the Christmas break, I'll do a fan art of their stuff to just celebrate all this current campaign and how much I've enjoyed it, and just because I need something something fun to just kick back and do that's not intense for over the break. Because I'll be doing some other stuff that is like I guess I'll do it if I don't finish if I finish these early. That's what I'll say, because I don't want to add it onto these. Because if I don't, then I'll just I can always just put it off till like as a January thing or a February thing, just so I don't lose my mind. What if he's like the green? Well, I mean, he already does wind. I guess he could do ice too a little bit, but I was thinking, what if he could go as far as to use the holiday wonder to make conjure shape, like he can kind of Green Lantern, make shapes into reality, like summon put himself inside of a giant mecha. They made the house into a giant robot. Fascinating. Hey, dude, have you seen anime before? What's an anime? Oh, I need to. We must speak. It's funny how like not only that, but like those animators are just so incredible. Like when they went off and made Owl House, the ending of Owl House is just as exciting as that, I'd say. Like that fight, I was like, you know what, this is gonna be okay. They kind of rushed it, so I'm a little worried. And then I watched it, and I'm like, whoa! And then I watched the other one, and I was just like, this is cool too. I think my only notes for those are that they're a little bit similar, but I'm kind of okay with that because they're different enough that I'm not really too worried. Like certain beats happen in both of them near the end, near the climax, but I'm like, I kind of knew that was going to happen anyway. Like I think they kind of wrote themselves into a corner a little bit, or that they knew that they had to like do certain things to characters. And as someone who's a fan of like Neil Gaiman's writing, he does that a lot too, so I'm okay with it. There's so many times in the 11th hour the hero of the story is pulled aside and almost pulled out of the story, kind of, and like forced to like, or not forced, but given a chance to breathe essentially, and like think things through. And in both of those, I mean, I'd say in those two more than in Gravity Falls, even because in Gravity Falls, like once the once the final fight's down, it's like minute to minute. Like they don't have much time to think. But like both Amphibia and Owl House have a moment where like the character kind of just like gets to like just think things through, which is fun. I don't want them to all be exactly the same, and they even how they do it is different. So I guess even saying they're similar is kind of disingenuous in a way. It's like, well, they do some things the same, but how they get there is very different. And it's in all cases it's written into the story. It's not like it's like out of nowhere. Like I know those are older shows, but I still don't want to spoil them because they're new enough that there's a chance a lot of people haven't seen them, and they're all really good. I think Owl House got a little bit more press than Amphibia, but I think Amphibia is really good for so many reasons. Not just because like a lot of people were saying that it was a really good representation of someone on the spectrum, which it is, but it's also like just such an interesting character too. Like it wasn't just that they did a good job, they also just like the way they wrote her, she was just really fun, and like it was kind of like with Gravity Falls, where like I was perfectly fine early on giving them time to like sort all these characters out as they were before they got into the lore, you know. Like it was nice having a chance. I think both shows kind of did that, where like you didn't really like, you got like in a little bit more, actually no, I'd say about the same, but just like with Amphibia, they didn't reveal the main conflict until much later, maybe because they didn't even have it yet. Because the main conflict at first was she's marooned in another world and she has no idea what's going on. Because everyone is not human. They're all amphibians. So, the whole first chapter is her adapting to a strange new culture where everyone thinks she's a monster. And it's just really cool seeing her slowly gain favor with everyone in the town. Hilda's another one that I definitely recommend to people who, if you like either of those. Hilda is so good. Like that I have the comics as well, but like the The show is so good. Like they got really good voice actors, and like everyone are just so interesting and has a lot of heart to it. It's funny that the only thing they really changed between the comic and the TV show is Hilda's nose, which is funny because like they didn't change her mom's, but they changed hers because she had a longer nose in the comic, which I kind of like, but it's up to them what they want to do. I like imperfections sometimes that or not imperfections, but just like because that's not fair. Variation's a better word because like she still looks like a normal kid. She just has a little bit of a longer nose. It's like it's not. I was watching someone talk about Escaflowne recently, and those are big noses. When you have a regular anime face and a nose that's just like Pinocchio, and it's like, oh wow, okay. Well, I haven't seen that show in a while. I might have to go back and check that out sometime. Cause I don't think I ever got very far in it. Because it was on TV, and you know how how bad TV is at showing things in order. Like there used to be networks where they would just actively avoid shows with story arcs because they hated the fact that they couldn't show them in any order. I am so tempted to give him the Garp lightning around him, but I'm not gonna do it. I'll wait for. Let's do the. Am I in the right layer? Or why you do this? Oh, that's why. Okay. I forgot that that's a thing you could do. Kind of like that actually, though. Whoops. Technically, he probably should be blue, but I already have the other character blue, so I'm going to make him the Coca-Cola version of Santa. Because it is crazy how long that's lasted. Like, I think Norman Rockwell was one of the first people to do that one too. So he's one of my favorite illustrators from that era. Him and Elsie Lane Decker, look him up. He's really good. He does like these really cool advertisement illustrations that just look so amazing. I'm gonna try this and see how it looks. I mean, they're not complementary colors, so it could work. But I kind of want... Maybe if I change this cape entirely to be blue, then it will... The whole thing will kind of play off of it. It'll be a nicer mix of colors. Oh, I found out the name of that that YouTuber I was trying to remember last time with the singer. His name's I think it was Peter Hollins is his name, and he's got some really nice Christmas music. I've been listening to it in the back, like when I draw, just like a kind of like a couple classics, and then he's got some others that are like church music. He's just got such a nice voice, so I definitely recommend him. Maybe the one side's like that. So it's got kind of like a mix. Yeah, maybe the inside's the outside's like that, and the inside's like that, so that it's not quite so stark. No. Okay. like, why am I not seeing my lines? Thanks. Yeah, me too. I'm really happy with how this is coming along. And I'm so happy that I'm really glad that for the sake of you and all the other viewers now and in the future, I'm glad I took some time to do these ahead of time, because otherwise I wouldn't have gotten nearly this far. So it was definitely worth it. Like, okay, there's someone just popped in, I think. So thanks for dropping by. Or maybe you were there all along and YouTube finally woke up, because it does that sometimes where it doesn't show me everyone that's here. It's like, I'm gonna give him a little more color in his skin, because he's a jolly guy. He's gonna have like cherry cheeks. I'll clean up the line work as soon as I get more of the color in, because Really, it was just I'm just pretty happy with this pose, so I'm not too worried. But for people who just came in, I that's what I based. That was my rough version of this guy. I think he's coming quite a ways. I might add back in the. You know what? No, I won't. I was gonna put back in the snowflakes, but I think he doesn't need them. He's got the giant snowflake on his staff. He doesn't need anything other than that. But like, yeah, she looks really good. This is Grandmother Winter. I think it's Frau Holly. Is her name? I think that's this one. Yeah, because the other one was hold on. She's in here. Her, which is I have her named somewhere. No. Yeah, no wait. I don't see it. It's a bunch of scribbles, I can't read it. I think it's Scott. I think next maybe I'll do Boreas, actually. Or Boreas or Calais? Kalek? How do you say it? I don't speak Gaelic. I'm bad. Oh. Ancestors, forgive me. Scothy. That's what it was. This is, well, if I got that one wrong, that would be the other ancestors asked to forgive me. It's like... Because, yeah, this was... Yeah, Frau Holly is the one that's on the... that floats on the thing with the... And she has threads. And then Scothy's is a goddess of hunting and winter. And then that name's wrong because I thought I got my names mixed up because there was someone with that name, but Calais is like this giantess with one eye, who's like just can form the land and can like protect. She's like a being of like winter itself. Same with, and then Boreas is like wind, snow, and horses. So I'm like, I'm gonna do something with him with like that, or like I think I have a drawing of him here where it's a little cleaner. Okay, because that was a very rough version of her. That's playing wrong. That's okay. I can make a better version for her. There's my two guys, my buddies. There's Cole and Clay. There's a version of Scott. What do I know? Nope. Nope. Sorry, I'm just trying to. I know I have a. I thought I had a version of here it is. Yeah, I just gotta clean this up because this is what he's gonna look like, except for the pauldron. I don't think I need the pauldron because he already has the. Unless I want him to do all three, I could do that. It'd be kind of fun to go overboard and like make like him have like a. Let's play around with faces for him, actually, because it'd be kind of more fun to... I already have the pauldron. I'll give him two pauldrons, actually, and make them both horse heads. And that would be pretty cool looking. But I think I can do, for him, specifically, I'll just work on faces for him. Giving him something a little bit more accurate to what he would look, maybe closer to what he would look like. There's Gummy Goo fan art on here. That's awesome. Let's see. This guy's kind of cool. Oh, this is just Liam Neeson. That's why I'm saying he looks kind of cool. You're going in my comic pages, Liam Neeson. Because you're pretty much what I based, like, the persona of, he's pretty much what I based the persona for Richard Steele's song around. Kind of. So, let's see if I can use some of his features, though, for this character. So let's draw a face. Drawing a face. Drawing a face. Start with an egg shape. Then elaborate. I swear one of these days I'll do maybe I'll do because a quick version of that, of what I like in the future when I do an actual one on like drawing head faces, is like what I do is mentally I do this. Like all of this is done mentally in my, because I've done it so many times that I can skip a lot of this. But like because there's the Loomis way where you have the head and then you bisect the side of the head for the ear and for the eyes. And you bring it down for the face, for the jaw is separate. It's just, and it can be, and depending on what you're drawing, you can change that. But as long as you stick to those rules, you'll have a more uniform character. Because like I've seen anime characters where they'll just do like this, and they'll just like lightly bring the chin down out of the circle. And that's fine too. As long as you just stick to a consistent thing for your character, it'll always look you'll have more consistency and it'll look better. And try not to do what I'm doing right now, which is being chicken scratchy, because that was just me drawing really fast to show it. But really, you should just like take your time with your strokes, draw with your elbow and your your shoulder, which thankfully I can do because it's this hand. But you want to like just like take your time, and then you can make much more controlled strokes. Because like this is me just drawing with my wrist. It's like you can get nice effects with your wrist too, but it's better for really quick small strokes. Whereas like using your whole hand, your whole arm, you get these nice cleaner. I haven't been doing too much tonight, I'll be honest. So I'm not saying I'm perfect. It's very easy to fall into doing the quick like little jitters sometimes. But it looks so much more clean and better when you do it the other way. So highly recommend trying. And don't come to me saying, "Oh, it's my style to be jittery." It's like, no, you just don't have control yet. But don't feel guilty. Don't feel embarrassed. Just get better. Because I was that way too. I still am at times. I still am at times. I still am at times. I still am. I think the best thing also with character design in general is always try and put something. Honestly, I think it goes for writing too. This is always, whether you're drawing or writing a character, make sure that you put something into them that you like. Even if they're the worst villain ever, you have to have a reason to. If you don't like them, like writing them or drawing them, you're gonna draw them poorly or write them poorly. Like, I can always tell when certain writers just hate the villain, but not for the right reasons. They just hate them because they're bad, and I'm like, but they could have been cool if you had just thought them through more. Like, I kind of felt that way with Man of Steel with Zod. Like, it felt like they wanted to make him into such a cruel person that they didn't take a moment to think about like how a person raised in a family setting would react to someone like him to begin with, let alone like how he would react to being on a new planet where there's infinite choices. Like, it was just weird that they're like, no, he has to do this because the comics say it. And I'm like, guys, that doesn't... Look at Marvel, that doesn't always work. In fact, the best thing they did was ignore the comics in the beginning. Like, Tony Stark, they changed him a lot. So, there's nothing wrong with modernizing a character because, I mean, Iron Man, I think, was in like 2.5, kind of like with Captain America, he was in a several different wars based on when the comic was being made. Kind of like this, like, sterner looking hero is kind of just like this, like. Not supposed to be a handlebar mustache. It's supposed to be more just like a beard that's going around it. Like that. Oh yeah, another character tip. If you're drawing an older character, I did this for this character because sunken eyes can work as long as you don't make it a trait of them being old. Like, you can't just be like, look, he's old, he has lines on his thing, and he's got like lines here, and 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 lines. Like, no. An old face, usually like the skin get the gravity of... I'm gonna do this with the Calais, because she's referred to as a hag. So I want her to have like her skin's a little bit more stretched, like her hero. She's not gonna look as scary as the old one because this is a superhero version of her, but she's still gonna have like the skin kind of starting to sag down and like kind of like that, you know, just around the mouth. Dimples more like that whole area is more visible. The area near the nose has lines a little bit. That way I can maybe like around the eye, like I don't know how you would do. My only problem is like, other than like very rough drawings I saw of her, I keep just thinking of Futurama. Like, how do they do lines around Leela's eye? And since she's a hero, how do I not make her scary? I might even do a My Hero thing where she covers her eye with a visor or something, so that you can't really see. It's obscured. Hello, how are you today? Yeah, no, I was just showing like how to do like age up characters without making it look too over the top or like or not even over the top but just wrong, because there's like ways to do it where you're like you look at it later and you're like, why did I draw them that way? It doesn't look, they don't look right at all. But no, I'm working on this character. He's this is Boreas. He's the I'll look up his exact title, but I think he's like this Greek deity of winter, hunting, and horses, I believe. Boreas, Greek god of cold north winds, storms, and winter. But there was also ones that said horses, so guys, get your story straight. Oh, that's what it was. You know what? I'm gonna get rid of his he's not gonna have a cape because I already gave Santa a cape, but he will. I will give him something different though, because here's Santa so far. He's checked his list. You're next. No. I made him. I just made this version. I still need to do the finer details in him and clean up the line work. But I like the idea of like, because I've seen depictions of Saint Nick with a scepter, so I thought it'd be kind of cool with him as a hero having like a scepter or like a staff that he can channel wind through. Because one of the one of the versions of other names for Santa was like, I think, Grandfather Winter or something like that. Like, because there's also Grandmother Frau Holly, which I have. I think. Yep, this is Frau Holly. I'm really happy with her design. It looked. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy with how he's looking. It was very much inspired by I don't know if you've ever seen Guardians, with Jack Frost and the Tooth Fairy, and they had Pitch as the villain, and I love Pitch's design. He's such a fun villain. But Santa Claus was such a fun design because he was just like this. He had the Russian accent, and he had these two dual swords. They weren't cutlasses, but they kind of looked like cutlasses. But they were so cool. Like I was telling Evie earlier, I'm like, I'm not gonna draw him with swords. I'm not gonna draw him with swords, because if I did, I would just be drawing that character. I also liked that in that version they gave him tattoos that said naughty and nice. But this is I like this version of Santa because the point of these drawings is like the description of the video says, I'm making them into superheroes. So I want to kind of give them less crazy details and more streamlined, as in like something that they wear every day to fight for against injustice. And like this guy is just like, he's the grumpy one of the group. But we'll start a new document too, so I can start after I start working on him. Is this all in one layer? Yeah, that is. So we'll just erase all this. I was showing how to draw faces too. That's where you came in. But I'm gonna do this looks great, so I'm just gonna shrink it down. I was loosely referencing Liam Neeson when I was drawing that face. Yeah, because but see, like, I just don't want to rip off the. What I was thinking of was actually I was gonna make it NOTY for the or maybe what is the, I'll have to look it up. There's got to be a way where you can use, like, isn't there like a specific A with a like A with like a like where you go like that or something, or I'll look up the different characters. But there must be a way to use 4 characters to write naughty. Wait, I gotta look this up. It's driving me. I'm gonna. Horse. He is okay. I'm not imagining this. I know I saw this on his Wikipedia page. Boreas was closely associated with horses, storms, and winter. So I'm putting horses in his design. I was going to give him pauldrons that were horse heads. Originally, I was going to give him a horse face, but then I'm like, nah, that's too good. That's a little bit too crazy. But I like this idea that he just like he's kind of like that guy from My Hero Academia, the wind guy, who's probably one of my favorites. I love that he showed back up in the final season. Because I was like, where are all those students? They were so cool. And then he pops up and I'm like, oh yeah. Oh cool, I just started watching that again. It is, right? I was surprised. I was like a little worried because I'm like, are they going to be able to maintain that momentum? But I'm like, I love the fact that that his grandfather's a Komodo dragon, because I used to be obsessed with those. Like, I used to think they were the coolest thing around. Well, I love even the main character when he first saw his grandfather fight. He's like, who is this guy? He went from like, you shouldn't cause a ruckus, you shouldn't cause trouble, almost get jumped, and then he just beats them all down, and he's like, wait, what? I think I missed, guys, I missed a page of the script here. What? Plus, I was telling Evie, I love that, like, you put the main character in like these settings with actual like adults, and it's like his neighbor, that woman who's the I forget what she is, but anyway, she there's like a moment where she's just like, wait, you're just a kid. It's like, what the heck? It's like I shouldn't be looking to you for anything, you're just a child. It's crazy that I need your help. Yeah, right? That was weird. I saw that and I'm like, what is he doing? At least they went with the more modern version of what Komodo dragons are, because for the longest time people thought Komodo dragons had a bacteria in their teeth, that like they had a special bacteria on their teeth or something. But then they realized that no, they have the same amount of bacteria as any like carnivore. But they just also have a venom that can like have special effects, like they show in there a little bit, where it can like fatigue their prey, so they can take it down easier. Wait, it says he's a... Yeah, shaggy hair, so maybe I don't even need the... Maybe wing feathers underneath. Nah, that's too much. I'll keep the wings like roughed in there. I haven't decided if I really want them yet. I just like the idea that even back then when they were when they were doing the lore for this character, they're like, we need a god who's the moody teen god. It's like Boreas, god of wind and the north wind and this and that. Also, he's a moody grump. He's your Wolverine character. I mean, we can condition ourselves to be higher tolerant to venoms as well. Just not that degree, but... Let's see if I can... Is there a picture of him? Okay. His hair is... This isn't that really helpful because this is more like a... I can go back over it because it really he'd be the one in like a makeshift, like not even like this. He'd be kind of wearing more like a Greek armor, like of that era. So I'm trying to think I'm trying to find a picture. Although if he's a superhero, he's not wearing armor not to that degree anyway. I'll let him keep the pauldron. I don't want both of them actually. I like asymmetry. Is more fun sometimes. Especially with a superhero, you want something that's like kind of like just his calling card kind of thing, like where he yeah, thanks for dropping in. Really appreciate it. This is just the early stuff. I'm gonna rough this out a little bit, and then let's see if I can find a good pose actually. That would have been better. Well, I can still do that technically. Let's do that instead. We'll do both. I'll leave this one as like a reference for what I want to do, but I think I found a better like martial arts pose here that I really like that I want to use instead. Guys, what you doing? Why am I? It's easier just to do this. What am I doing? Yeah, if you need to select something, don't do what I did the first time. Just select what you need, what you don't want, and then select inverse. And now everything else but what I have is this. Yeah, it's the selection. So now I can just cut and paste on a new layer. And I can go back in now and do it again, draw the character again, but without the without having to get rid of all that. It's just on a different layer now. So although I accidentally left a lot of this here, I didn't mean to do that. Probably should call it pretty soon because it's getting late. But I'll get a little bit further and then I'll call it. I'm just gonna put in the skeleton for this guy and then I'll call it probably because we're near the end of the week and I just want to have some. I want some rest for tomorrow. And you should get some rest too, Evie. Although you said you woke up late, so maybe did you get it? Still, make sure you get a good night's rest. I'm just going to change where the shoulder is so that I change where his arm is. He's kind of like, we're doing this like, you know what? I'll make him the shirtless guy. Like him and Scothy will probably be the ones wearing the least. Like, but like he'll be the guy version that's wearing only like, because they're like they're based around beings that like are that are concerned with being cold. So like, other than armor, they don't really care. Or in his case, maybe he's just so fast because he's with the wind that he's just like, he's more just like got the tunic down here kind of, or like the maybe like a very light kind of like robe kind of, but like I'm thinking like a cool like another pose where the legs are stretched out, but his are stretched out a different way where they're more like, maybe give him smaller wings actually, because I always give people really huge wings. It'd be kind of, maybe he just, all he needs is like small ones like this. Or maybe they can grow, I don't know. I'm just butting in. I'm like having an argument with myself right now. Listen, bad enough of you, Sean. Oh yeah. Maybe I should get some sleep too. I think I'm getting affected by lack of sleep. Help me, help. I like this guy though. I'm glad I spent more time on the face because a big part of him was when he's like, I'm not making up that part where it's like he's kind of just got like this like, he's either an old man or a. Even the Wikipedia described him as. Oops. Hold on. Yeah, he's a winged old man, or sometimes a young man with shaggy hair and a. Oh, it says and a. Well, I mean, that's kind of a beard. So. Wait, he does. Well, you know what? I don't care. They say he's. Actually, well, I can give him the. I'll still give him the hood that could be pulled over his face, but he's normally doesn't keep it up. Change my mind. He's gonna be wearing a long robe. Maybe he's like Samurai Jack, where it gets ripped up a lot. I don't know. Who else wants some? Maybe he's holding. Maybe he does have the magical conch shell in this hand, actually. Apparently, that's something about him is. Maybe that's where the wind comes from? I don't know. But I'll keep some of the canon true. Because he also wears a cloak sometimes, but I'm like, wings or a cloak? Which one do I want? And I'll go with wings for him. Because the only other thing I would do is maybe make it a very short cloak for him. Like that. I don't know. I'll think about it. I might get rid of the wings. But I kind of like the fact that he has wings because not many of the other guys are even described as having wings. So that could be his thing. Kind of like how Frau Holly, she flies on that on the distaff. I finally remembered what it was called. My brain is working again, kinda. Yippee! It does turn on once in a while. Maybe not even that. Maybe make it go a little bit further over even. I'll work on it. It might even. I don't want to do that though. Yeah, this is good for now. Like I got a lot done because I got him roughed out. I didn't think I get his face as clean as that, so that's good. And then I have I could start on Frau Hall. I mean not Frau. I mean on the the hag as well. Like trying to I'll work on her design before the next stream. But and I'll clean up him and yeah, we both should rest soon. But like so I got him, and she looks great. Like really with her, I don't know what else other than getting rid of maybe just shrinking her down, cropping it, and making it look really nice, adding a fun background. I think she looks really good. But I was gonna do like two at a time. Like I was thinking about putting her with someone else. I don't know who yet, but I'll think about it. I was thinking about putting her and Scothy together because she's kind of like the range person, and Scothy's kind of like even though she's range, she's like a hunter. So I could even switch her from the bow. I don't know. She is part. Let me see, Scotty. Norse goddess. She's the goddess. She's part of it's bow hunting, so she needs a bow. Yeah, that's okay. I can still. I'll figure it out. Honestly, she might be better to team up with Santa actually, because since he's one of the iterations of the North Wind, like he could guide her arrows. Give them a little have to with his like Christmas magic. Like maybe like add like enchant them with like holly so that like magic trees appear where they fall or something would be kind of a cool team up attack. And then with him, he's kind of like the what's the name of that? I always forget the name of that guy. That's the number 2 hero in My Hero with the red wings. So where he's kind of like the wild card, where he's just kind of he's one of the originals that. I'd say he's kind of like the Zorro almost, where he's kind of like he's kind of angry at Santa because Santa's more well known, but he's older. Like he's like I should be in. Everyone should revere me around the world, not him. It's like I've been around forever. He's a newer guy, especially this suit. Why do you wear this suit? He's kind of always giving him grief. And then she'll just like grab him with her threads and slam him into the ground like Inuyasha. That's it, boy. But yeah, no, these are coming along great. I didn't think I'd get this far, honestly. I was really worried because I was getting kind of like spun in circles with all these different projects. But I mean, I made some progress on that last week. But I also made a lot of progress with him, and this is what I was so happy that I stayed on late on Saturday and got this done. Because I was like. I remember everyone being like, good night. And I'm like, good night? What do you mean? I look up at the clock and it's like 10:30. I'm like, oh, yeah. It's like, yeah, it's already getting late. So, yeah. This one came out so good. I'm so happy with like the little details, like the 3 little wisps around him and the dinosaurs looking great. I just gotta clean up the brushwork a little bit, but not much, honestly. I kind of like the loose quality of it. it's only going to move a little bit anyway, and I'm probably just going to distort it to move it. So it's not, yeah, it's mostly going to be distortion. So God, that face that creeps me out so much. Mainly, I think it's because of One Piece that just really creeps me out. Like that the singing forest. Like I just think of that when I see that smile, and I'm like, oh gosh. It's like, just stay inside, buddy. I know you're a tough half dragon thing, but half dragon, leshy, forest spirit creature. But take my word, inside's better. Plus, you look how much you just drank. You're not going anywhere. That's like a gallon of like hot chocolate going through your body. But yeah, no, these came out great. So thanks for sticking around. I'll be back on a Friday, and we'll be probably cleaning these up a little bit more. And what else was I gonna do? I'll figure something else out if I don't want to do just this, but that's probably what I'm going to do is just clean these up because I really want these ready for next week because I want these done before the end of the month. So maybe I'll do a little bit of comic work too, but because I'll have more time. But yeah, this is good for now, I think. So have a great night, everyone, and